Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of our Drunken History. We're coming to you from my back deck because my air conditioning in my house took a shit and they can't get it in until Thursday. So it's hot as fuck in there. We're not going to sweat all night. So here we sit.
We got the mister running, the ceiling fan going.
Yeah, if you guys hear a in the background, sorry, just gonna have to put up with it.
It's just the ambiance.
Yeah. Also, we're coming to you from outside because tonight's episode, we are gonna examine the relationship between baseball and beer.
That's right. Like
Baseball's an outside sport.
Yeah.
Drinking is an outside sport.
There you go. Hey, and nothing says summertime like beer and baseball, and going to a baseball game and having a cold one.
Yep.
So, I think it's a good combination.
It is. It worked out nicely. Unfortunately nice.
Unfortunately nice, yeah. And there's always times like beer and baseball is always a good thing, but then there's sometimes when beer and baseball combine for not so good results, and we'll get into that later. That's a good story.
Yes, we will. As we said, we're on the back porch, so we apologize for any background noise that could annoy you guys. Just bear with it. It'll be a 1 week thing, and we'll get through it.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have our next live episode next week from the bar.
We're gonna try and set it up at our local trivia spot.
Yeah. Do another on location set.
Those are fun. I enjoyed that. That was a good time.
Yeah, it was. It was good.
Good to switch it up. Baseball happens to be my favorite sport. I love football. I don't really care about basketball much. Hockey's okay, but baseball, man. When I was brought home from the hospital when I was born, my dad had me wrapped in a Yankee jacket. No shit, true story. So I became a Yankees fan. The first thing my dad ever watched on TV was the 1958 World Series, and he's been a Yankees fan ever since. He raised me to be a Yankees fan, even though we're from Montana.
That's a long way from Montana.
It's a haul, but Montana, I would have to research this, but I'm pretty sure, besides Alaska or Hawaii, Montana is the only state that doesn't have a professional sports team, and none of the states bordering it have a professional sports team.
Oh wow, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, Idaho, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota.
Yeah. But you'd think that part of the world you'd be like a Mariners fan up there.
Well, it depends. So if you're on the western half of the state, towards like Missoula area,
yeah,
you tend to be more Mariners.
Okay.
If you're eastern half, it's split between the Colorado Rockies and the Minnesota Twins.
Okay, yeah.
Predominantly.
Yeah.
Then you get the outliers who are Yankee fans like me.
Well, there's Yankee fans everywhere though too. It's almost like the Cowboys. It's America's team almost.
It is, like. Yeah, it is. Well, when you've won 27 world championships, it's hard to keep a good thing down.
Yeah, yeah. When growing up in Arkansas, we didn't have a pro team either. We got a couple farm teams for some of the other.
Yeah, Kansas City and Seattle now.
Yeah, it used to be the Cardinals, but I guess they switched several years ago to Seattle. But yeah, so around here, I grew up watching the Cardinals or the Texas Rangers. That was usually the two that was on TV.
Yeah, and it sucks because blackout restrictions. I don't get any of the fucking Cardinals games, the Rangers games, or the Royals games here. And it pisses me off. I don't live anywhere near any of those places. But when I lived in Vegas, I was blocked out from all the California teams.
Yeah.
And the Diamondbacks.
See, I don't even understand the whole blackout thing when it comes to TV. It's like they're going to get their revenue, and you're going to sell ad revenue regardless. So why not show them on?
It used to be because teams weren't selling tickets, and people would stay home and watch the game.
Yeah.
But now I'm not buying a fucking ticket for a team 5 hours away. I'm just not doing it.
It's gotten so expensive to even go to a game anymore, though, too.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, guys like Tatis and
you got to pay for those $100 million contracts.
Fucking Bryce Harper. Yeah, man. How much fucking money do you guys need? Share the wealth, bro.
They could buy tickets for everybody.
They should buy tickets for everybody.
Yeah.
Tatis definitely should. He's been out. He's been hurt all season.
Yeah.
I got him on my fantasy team. Fucking guy is just killing me.
There was a chart I saw, and it listed in order the most expensive ball games to go to. I have to put a picture of that up. And I think it was the Yankees and the Red Sox were up there toward the top.
I'm sure, yeah. That's like a dream game to go to.
And it was like a price for a family of 4. So it was 4 tickets, 2 beers, 2 sodas, 4 hot dogs, and it was like $300 to go to a game.
You know, that's the sad thing. Is baseball used to be the affordable sport. You know, football games have always been a little crazy.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, there's 16, well now 17 of them a year. And it's a once a week thing. So but baseball, it's a 162 game season.
Yeah.
So it used to be, and in some stadiums they still have cheaper tickets, but for the inflation on a baseball game has gone through the fucking roof.
It's crazy. Well, I mean, I guess now, you know, you can go to a AA or AAA game, and they're still pretty reasonable to go.
Well, yeah. But going to I've been to 13 major league games. I've been to 10 in Seattle, all Yankees games, by the way. I've been to 10 in Seattle with the Yankees against the Mariners. I went to Jeter's last game he ever played in Arlington when it was Globe Life Park.
Yeah.
Now it's Globe Life Field. But yeah, back before the new one, I was at Jeter's last game he ever played there, which was awesome. Then I've gone to 2 Kansas City Royal games up here when the Yankees were in town.
Okay, yeah.
And I will go to more major league games in my life, but to be honest, probably not that many, just because the tickets are so fucking crazy when you take into account travel. Now, if you live in a stadium with a team, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Or a city with a team, I mean, yeah, I get it. But if you live where we do, you look at travel, hotel,
That's right.
meals, the game tickets.
Our closest stadium would be Dallas or
Kauffman in Kansas City.
Or Kansas City, yeah, and they're both 4 to 5 hours away. And so going up there for a trip, I mean, that's almost like a mini vacation at that point when you do that.
It is, yeah.
But what I've been watching, it's they're not affiliated with any teams. Some out there like an independent league, the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah, they're crazy,
dude. Some of those games,
they're like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
And it's great, and I really think it's good for the game because it's drawing a lot of people to those games.
So
and it's still good baseball too.
Where do you think the next expansion team should go?
Man,
because I've read about this. So Portland is one, New Orleans is one, San Antonio is one that's on the board. Orlando. You tell me where you think, and then I'll tell you because I've thought about this a lot. Tell me where you think.
I would think it would make more sense out of those that you listed probably at New Orleans. Another Florida team that you've already got, Miami and Tampa Bay. Up in you said Oregon? Portland, yeah. I mean, you already got Seattle up there that's close
and
by.
San Francisco's not too terribly far.
So I would say geographically wise, probably it'd make more sense and New Orleans already got 2 pro franchise. They've got a football and a basketball team, so it makes sense to have they have the population to support it, I would think.
My vote is San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Well, I mean, baseball is huge in the Caribbean.
There's a professional league in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, it's like
that is sellout all the time, man. It's there's a team in Ponce, there's a team in Mayaguez, there's a team in San Juan.
Yeah. And don't they travel to some of the other islands too?
They do.
Because they're big. A lot of the major baseball players now are coming from that part of the world.
During the strike a couple years ago, I watched a lot of Puerto Rican baseball because they showed it on the MLB channel.
Well, there's a lot of players.
And it was great.
There's a lot of MLB players that go down there and play during the off season.
There are, yeah. There's the Dominican League is the big one probably, but there's a lot of major leaguers from Puerto Rico, man.
Yeah.
You know, Roberto Clemente was Puerto Rican.
And Dominican, like you said, the Puerto Rican and Dominican Republic is really big in baseball.
It's huge, man. Well, realistically, like, I know baseball is an American sport, but it's an international sport. But I would say the best players probably come from Latin America.
Yeah, really.
As a whole. I mean, right now you look at guys like Juan Soto,
yeah,
Tatis. You know, they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, they're otherworldly right now. Trout is obviously the probably the best player alive today, but
yeah, but really, if you look back over the last several years, a lot of the top major players have been.
Yeah, so having a team, a major league team, because there's professional teams, but a major league team down there, I think would generate a huge following. It would be a sellout all the time. The weather is perfect down there.
Play year round down there.
Yeah, well, the hottest temperature ever recorded in Puerto Rico is 98 degrees. The coldest temperature ever recorded in Puerto Rico is 68 degrees.
That's crazy.
That's insanity, right?
Yeah.
A 30-degree spread. And playing in 98 degrees in Puerto Rico,
get that ocean breeze coming.
I'd be all right.
Oh yeah, that's not bad at
I'd be all right. I'd move down there. We're talking about moving down there anyway.
Use it as a retirement.
We are, yeah. We've talked about it on several occasions.
Shoot, yeah.
Anyway, as we said, we're getting way off track. But at least we're
still staying talking about baseball.
Talking about baseball.
Yeah.
How many baseball teams do you know right now whose stadiums are named after a beer?
I know you got. There's Coors Field, or is it Coors Stadium?
Coors Field.
Coors Field, and you got St. Louis Busch Stadium. Is Milwaukee's named after? Is it?
That's what I was getting to. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. There are two stadiums named after beer companies: Coors Field in Denver, Coors Field in Denver, Busch Stadium in St. Louis, and Miller Park was Milwaukee, and now is American Family Field, which seems wrong because they're the fucking Brewers.
Yeah, the Milwaukee. Yeah, this just their logo for a long time was a beer mug, wasn't it?
Still is.
It still is.
Still is.
It still is. Yeah.
Their nickname is the Brew Crew.
The Brew Crew. Yeah.
Do you know which team drinks? No, well, which team's fan base drinks the most?
Which team fan base drinks the most?
I'm gonna get it.
Am I gonna get it? Cleveland.
I would have said Oakland.
Yeah.
Because they suck. But no, it's actually Chicago, the White Sox.
Really?
They have an average of 4.2 beers per game.
Wow.
Their crosstown rivals, the Cubs, drink 3.4 beers per game, and they are.
I know they hate each other too. Like it's.
It's a passionate thing. Crosstown rivalries.
Yeah.
The Phillies are the lightest weight fans, at 2.4 beers per game. Pick it up, Philly.
Yeah, those are rookie numbers. You got to pump those numbers up.
Yeah. The Cardinals are 26th at 2.8 beers per game, even though they're Busch Stadium.
I would have figured they would have been higher than that. I almost guessed them.
The Brewers are 10th at 3.5 beers per game. The Rockies are 6th at 3.6 per game, which is bothersome in itself because there's a brewery at Coors Field in Denver, and that is where Blue Moon Beer was born.
Yeah, it was
at the stadium.
At the stadium.
At the stadium.
That's
how fucking
awesome.
Cool is that?
I love Blue Moon Beer too. It's pretty good.
The average baseball stadium beer comes in at 13.8 ounces because, and that's where it gets confusing when you look at beer sales. Some teams serve a 12-ounce beer standard. Now we're talking from the concession stand, guys. We're not talking from the little kiosks where you can get your craft beers, your fancy shit.
Yeah, it's usually based off of 12 ounces, but those cups.
Well, that's the thing. Some stadiums, and there are 9 teams whose standard beer at the concession stand is a 16-ouncer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Baltimore, Philadelphia, Chicago Cubs, Washington Nationals, the Brewers, the White Sox. If the White Sox are serving 16-ouncers and leading to 4.2 beers per game, you keep it going, Chicago.
Heck yeah.
You guys are earning that.
See, I prefer the pints anyway. That's just less trips.
The Rangers, the Dodgers, and the Pirates are also 16-ounce beer teams. 4 teams serve a 14-ounce beer standard. It's the Giants, the Astros. Fuck you, Houston. You cheating ass
You're not
bitches.
serving them with trash cans?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you cheater motherfuckers. Cincinnati, the Reds, and Arizona.
Okay.
The D-backs. Then the rest of the teams in the league, there are 16 of the rest there. It's Boston, Toronto, Oakland, New York Yankees, Kansas City, Minnesota, Cleveland, Miami, Tampa, the Angels, San Diego, Detroit, Atlanta, Seattle, St. Louis, and Colorado all serve a 12-ounce beer. I feel like I'm missing a team, though. That seems like an odd number, right?
Just say I'd have to do the math on it.
I'd have to do the math, and I'm not going to, so whoever I left out, I thoroughly apologize. I think I missed a team.
If you left out, that means you were a little under the radar, so you need to step it up a little bit. Maybe
yeah, if you guys were below Philly,
be the first team to start serving 24 ounces. So
sack up, man.
Serve some big
do
bucks.
2-for-1s.
Yeah.
I could not find, and I looked over and over for hours, when was the first beer served at a baseball game?
Oh man, that'd been good to know.
I couldn't
goes
find
back so long.
Yeah, 18. I think 1863. I think was the first.
Back in the 1860s. Yeah. And the rules have changed a lot since then, though. Too.
Yeah. But the National League kicked a bunch of teams out.
Yeah.
In 1886 for serving beer and whiskey at games.
Really?
And they formed their own league, and they called it the American Association. And they were a beer and whiskey league, and it lasted from 1886 to 1891.
I figured it would have lasted longer than that. That'd been nice.
Well, through Prohibition, a lot of teams, they didn't serve beer.
Yeah.
But they brought beer back to games after Prohibition, but it was mostly regional beer at your stadium, right?
Yeah.
Well, with the advent of television, teams got to get on the national marketing.
Yeah, that's right. And then you get into advertising and beers,
and
beer
they did.
And all that.
The biggest growth of beer sales in American history was in the 50s and 60s. And it is credited to the increase of broadcasting of baseball games. Because baseball, I know football has taken away from baseball a lot. Football is the most popular sport in the U.S. now. But in the 50s and 60s, it was baseball. And that was...
Every little kid back then even wanted to be a professional baseball player. And that's who they looked up to.
I still want to.
Yeah. And so I could see that.
But TV advertising became more accessible to everybody, and the companies that were mostly local were able to advertise on a national level. In 1961, Ham sponsored the Minnesota Twins, Narragansett Beer sponsored the Boston Red Sox, Carling Beer sponsored the Cleveland Indians, Stroh's sponsored Detroit, Schlitz sponsored Kansas City, Falstaff Brewing sponsored the LA Angels and the San Francisco Giants, the Pittsburgh Brewing Company sponsored, obviously, the Pirates. The Hudipole Brewing Company sponsored the Astros the Reds in Cincinnati. Sorry. Knickerbocker Beer had an advertisement deal with Polo Grounds with the Giants.
Okay.
This is pre-19. Sorry, this is pre-1961. Obviously, Yankee Stadium opened in 1920.
Yeah, that was in the 1920s, but I don't remember what year.
6 or 7. I would have to look. But anyway, at the Polo Grounds, when the Yankees and the Giants shared the Polo Grounds, there was an advertisement deal on the scoreboard for Knickerbocker beer that the Giants got paid for, but not the Yankees.
Did the Yankees not want to be having?
I couldn't find anything about it, but it was kind of funny. But Russ Hodges, who was the broadcaster, the radio broadcaster, his call sign was "Have a Nick, feel refreshed."
There you go.
Yeah, pretty good. When the Mets set up at the Polo Grounds, they brought in Rheingold Brewing as a scoreboard sponsor, and that sponsorship carried over when the Mets opened Shea Stadium. Rheingold had the rights to the scoreboard.
Yeah,
up there. The Yankees, when they opened Yankee Stadium, they had a deal with Ballantine Beer, and Mal Allen was the radio announcer at the time. John Sterling is now, obviously. But Mal Allen was, and his catchphrase for every home run, he called it a Ballantine Blast.
Ballantine Blast.
Schaefer Beer sponsored the Brooklyn Dodgers at Ebbets Field when they moved to LA.
Yeah. Obviously
that changed. Gunther Beers sponsored the Orioles, even though, interestingly enough, they were owned by a rival company to National Brewing. The owner of National Brewing was Gerald Hofberger, who also owned the Orioles.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Budweiser, in the late 70s and into the 80s, became the big sponsor for the Cubs.
Really? I didn't know that.
And Harry Carey became the spokesman on several commercials.
Oh, yeah.
That's where the term "This Bud's for You" came
okay.
from. Miller High Life was the sponsor on the Milwaukee Brewers scoreboard. And Bob Uecker, I don't know if you remember who Bob Uecker is. He was in the Major League movies as a radio guy.
On into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Oh, yeah.
He was actually a catcher.
Yeah.
For the Brewers, and then he became their radio guy, and he was in several High Life commercials.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, and he was an actor and stuff too. He was in movies.
He was in quite a few movies. Yeah.
But yeah, probably his most famous role in a movie is probably with Major League.
Oh yeah, he was great. He was so fucking funny in that, man. That movie was, what a great franchise. The movie.
Oh yeah,
really.
Well, it was the Cleveland Indians in that movie too, wasn't it? So that'll get into our story here later. We got to talk about the Indians.
We will. Opening day of 2015 is one of the most infamous days in Chicago baseball history.
Opening day 2015.
It was a night game. It was against the against St. Louis, the Cardinals.
Okay.
And the stadium had been under construction. They were doing a renovation on Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
And they hadn't finished.
Oh, okay.
And when they opened that game, now this is against a division rival, a National League division rival, and there was only 2 working bathrooms in the whole fucking stadium.
Oh no.
They did not curb beer sales. So, the lines for the bathroom were 2 hours long. And
if you gotta go to the bathroom, you're not holding it for 2 hours.
Nobody did.
There
are pictures online, and we'll put some up of, there was people pissing in the stairwells. There's countless pictures of full beer cups full of piss just stacked in the corners at Wrigley Field.
Oh man. Imagine the grounds crew trying to clean all that up. I mean, that's like you have to hire a hazmat crew to come in there for all
It was ugly. It was an ugly time. It was an ugly time in the history of the team. It really was. There were literally beer cups of urine all over the place. I wanted to get into, this is one more thing I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
The most expensive and the least expensive stadiums to drink in. I already told you, we broke it down to which ones sell the most beer.
Yeah. I think this was on that chart I was talking about earlier about how much it costs for a family to go to a game. I think it had beer prices on it.
It was so price of beer, the most expensive stadium per ounce is Boston.
I can see that, yeah.
Which, you guys have Sam Adams right there.
Yeah. I mean,
like, cut your, I hate you, Boston. I'm not a Red Sox fan at all. Very obvious. But I got to be straight with you guys. After years of absolutely hating Boston, hating the Red Sox, after the Houston cheating scandal, you guys moved into first place. So Boston is now my second least favorite team in baseball. But Boston is the most expensive stadium to drink in. They're at Fenway. San Francisco is the second most expensive. And the team that brings up the cheapest place to drink beer in baseball, Colorado Rockies.
There you go. Drinking some Coors.
Makes sense, guys. You got a brewery in your stadium. Way to keep it true with your fans. I appreciate you.
Heck yeah. So yeah, I guess we can get into that too. Speaking of our beers, we picked some beers tonight from. So our next story we're going to get into is an infamous game that happened in the 70s between the Cleveland Indians and the Texas Rangers. Couldn't find any beer out of our local beer shop from Ohio, so we got 2 Texas beers to represent the
We should have
Rangers.
called Jesse.
Yeah. Have him as a caller. Ship some down, yeah. So we got this one from the Independence Brewing Company. The Independence.
This is really
Pilsner.
good, actually. I really like this.
It's called Native Texan Pilsner. And it's not bad at all.
No, this is nice. It's a good flavor. It's easy going down. There's like no bite to it.
It's brewed by Independence Brewing Company in Austin, Texas. So, talking about cheap beer and back in
A lot of teams run a beer night. When I lived in Vegas, Thursday night was dollar beer night.
Okay.
At the 51s games, I went to almost all of them.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, and usually they run those promotions to get people in the seats. Usually they have them on a weekday game.
Yeah.
Because usually there's less fans in the stands during weekday games.
It draws a crowd.
Or especially if there's a rivalry or something like that, they're going to try to get a hometown crowd in there to help out the team. So, back in this game happened in 1974. So to kind of set this up beforehand,
You're getting all wet, huh?
Yes.
This thing's spraying at you now. I don't know why it moved.
I'm moist. So you was talking about Stroh's Brewing Company before.
Yeah.
They sponsored this beer night here for the Cleveland and Texas game. So the week prior to this, Cleveland plays the Rangers in Arlington at their home field, and in the ninth inning, they were chippy the whole game. A few people got cleated. One of the pitchers got hit by a line drive.
It was good old school baseball.
It was good old school baseball. There was a Texas player laid down a bunt, and the pitcher came up to field the bunt and to tag the runner, and the runner ran over the pitcher, and so then it got the out.
It got ugly.
Got ugly. So then that cleared the benches. They had a brawl there in the middle of the field. Then the fight got broke up. As the Cleveland team was exiting the field, because that was their third out, Texas fans was throwing shit on the fields at the players. They were throwing hot dogs and beer cans and stuff out on the field at the players. After they got that last out, and the Cleveland team was going to the dugout there in Texas, when the fans started throwing shit on the field at the players, the catcher for Cleveland, Dave Duncan, had to be restrained by his teammates. He was trying to climb into the bleachers and fight fans in the bleachers.
Dang.
So, Texas ended up winning that game 3-0.
All right.
So then the following week, Texas.
You're getting drenched, dude.
Though I think the wind shifted, it's all blown it this way.
It is, yeah.
So the following week, it was time for the Rangers to travel to Cleveland. So it was going to be the first game was going to be a Tuesday night game. So the Cleveland Stadium and the Stroh's Beer Company decided to do a 10-cent beer night.
Just out of curiosity, do you know if had they built was it Jacobs Field or?
It was, let me look here.
I don't know what year Jacobs Field was built, which is now Progressive. Well, I think it's Progressive shit. It probably got renamed when they renamed the team.
It's just saying Cleveland Stadium.
Okay, well, that may have been the name of it then.
Yeah. I get my wet papers peeled apart from the mister.
This is hilarious to watch, dude. You're just getting fucking drenched.
Oh. So, okay. So it comes time for Texas to travel to Cleveland. And so they start pitching this 10-cent beer night. And so they're trying to get home crowd in there because they know it's going to be another chippy game.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Players are going to be against each other.
You want your fan base to be involved.
So they're trying to pump up the fan base. And they're, so going back to the week prior to the game in Texas. So when they were leaving the field, or it was actually after the game was over with, let me find that, they were interviewing the manager for the Rangers. reporter for Cleveland, he was talking to the Rangers manager, Billy Martin.
Yeah. As a Yankee fan, I know much about Billy Martin.
So he made this statement, and I think this is what got Cleveland fans fired up. So the reporter asked him, "So hey, are you going to take your armor to Cleveland?" And Martin replied, "No, they don't have enough fans there anyway to do anything." So that
lit the fuse.
That lit the fuse. So then they started promoting this 10-cent beer night all week. And this had been done, so some people would get the misconception that this promotion was like the first time they'd ever done this. But it had been done several times before. But a lot of stadiums that had done it put limits on the beer and or how much you could buy at one time.
Yeah.
Cleveland didn't do that. They did put a limit on how many you could buy at one time, but it was 6. You could buy 6 beers at once. And no limit on return trips.
Well, so my question, most stadiums, some stadiums shut down beer sales.
Yeah.
Some do it in the 6th inning, which I think, I know the Mets do it in the 6th, and a couple other teams do it in the 6th. The majority of teams quit selling beers in the 7th inning. Did they do any of that?
Well, they might have tried, but
it wouldn't happen.
It got out of hand. This escalated from the get-go. So the game time rolls around. This is on a Tuesday night game.
School night.
So going back to the prices, this 10-cent beer night. So the average price for a beer at that time at the stadium was 65 cents. So they went from 65 cents to 10 cents, which in 1974 prices, if you adjust it for inflation, it'd be like paying 55 cents for a beer now.
I would go all day.
Yeah.
I would.
So if a team had a 50-cent beer night, that'd be great. So their normal price was equivalent to $3.50,
which is still a fucking really good deal.
Yeah.
At a pro ball game.
Yeah.
Only the Rockies do better.
That's right. So the fans were fired up all week. They had played a bunch of advertisements on the radios and local news and stuff the whole week.
Trying to get everybody spun up.
Yeah. Thursday night, 25,000 fans showed up to Cleveland for this game. And they said that was twice the number they expected. They expected 12 or 13,000 fans, and 25,000 showed up.
Eesh.
So then they had you could get 6 beers at a time. Well, so the Cleveland fans just started drinking, and they started getting rowdy. Well, some fans thought it was a great idea. A lot of them brought fireworks to the game. So you had random
this is pre-screening to get into games.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to have your clear purse.
So after all this, they caught fans with chains, with knives.
Jesus, they were really getting real.
It was bad.
They were hunting for Billy Martin.
This was a full-on riot by the time the game was over. So there's a little foreshadowing there, but so they're setting off fireworks in the stands. Like he said, during random times of the game, firecrackers going off, and there's like smoke blowing across the field. And then there was a couple fights during the game between some of the players. The player slid into third, cleated the third baseman. They got into a scuffle. One of the pitchers, I think Cleveland's pitcher, threw at one of the Rangers players while he was at bat, and that started a scuffle. So the players are...
It was a wild-ass game.
It was a wild-ass game. So this whole time, this is about like I think the 4th or 5th inning. The beer, like the concession stand selling the beer, can't keep up with the line. There's so many people in line trying to get beer, and fans screaming at the bartenders or whatever trying to get the beer. They just quit. They just walk out off the job and leave. They said they can't handle it because there's people throwing stuff, and then the fans.
There was high demand.
There was high demand. So the people in the beer line just jump over the counter and just start filling their own cups. Okay.
Yeah. I would do the same.
So like you said, the probably the responsible thing to do would be for them just to close beer sales down.
Make an announcement.
Make an announcement.
Yeah, last call.
Well, so they ran out of beer in the concession stands because they couldn't get beer up to the concession stands fast enough. So they decided they would form the lines at the beer truck down in behind the left field wall in the outfield. So all the fans were just going down to the beer truck and filling their cups from the beer truck down in the parking lot, basically. So going back to like sort of the beginning of the game, like just kind of the hint of what was to come, and with some of the players or some of the fans. Early in the game, Cleveland's LaRon Lee hit a line drive into the stomach of the Rangers pitcher, Ferguson Jenkins.
Fergie Jenks.
Well, so he hit the ground like in pain because he got hit by a line drive, and the fans started yelling, "Hit him again! Hit him again!" So they were out for blood.
Yeah, they brought chains to the game.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, they were out for blood.
So then a woman from the Indians fans jumped the wall and ran out on the field into the on-deck circle, flashed her titties at the crowd, and then tried to kiss the umpire.
Did he reciprocate?
No, he ejected her. So later on after that, a Texas player hit a home run. While he was rounding the bases, another fan jumped the fence, a naked fan, and streaked across the field and ran by him while he was running the bases and slid into second, butt naked.
That's some road rash, dude.
Yeah.
I played softball, man. I slid into second with shorts on.
Oh,
and
that's
it was
horrible.
A fucking rough ass experience.
So they definitely had the streakers
The Scorio
going.
is not nice on your bare skin.
Oh, no.
It's just not.
So going back to that play at third, there was Rangers player slid into third as a close play. He cleated the third baseman. It got called safe, and it was a close play. So the fans disagreed with the call.
They went ape shit.
They went ape shit. They started throwing shit on the field and lighting off more fireworks.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah. So they said they threw. So then they threw firecrackers into the Rangers bullpen, set them off out in there.
And this is
during the middle of the baseball.
But this is like what year was it?
This is 1974.
So fireworks were like completely fucking unregulated. Yeah.
Yeah. They said by the seventh inning. So this is all prior to the seventh inning.
Jesus.
By the seventh inning, they said most of the sober fans and families decided to get the hell out of there, and they'd left. So
they saw the writing on the wall.
So now it's just 20,000 drunk, irate fans that are just getting drunker by the minute. So it all came to a head at the end. So the Cleveland finally came back and tied the game 5-5 in the ninth inning. They had a runner on second base. So they had their winning run on second. And another fan decided to jump the wall and go streaking. And he had went to steal the hat off of one of the Rangers outfielders in the field. Well, let's see, it was Jeff Burrows was the outfielder. Well, the fan reached for the hat, and Burrows like kind of juked and dodged out of his way, but he slipped and fell. It was a total accident. But the manager for the Rangers saw him fall and thought the fan attacked him. So basically then he jumped up and told the whole team on the bench to get him. And so
opposite of what they would do today.
Yeah. So the Rangers bench unloaded, and they come out with their bats and went to the field, and they started this all-out brawl on the field. And so the fans jumped the wall and came on the field, and the fans unloaded the stadium. The Rangers had their bats, was fighting fans on the field with fist fights. Some of the fans had broken off the armrests of the chairs, the stadium chairs.
Everybody had a weapon,
and they were using them as clubs, and they were fighting. The pitcher got into a fist fight with a fan on the mound and knocked a guy out on the mound. And so then Cleveland's manager saw all of their fans, like, so the Rangers are out on the field, and there's about 20 of them or so.
Yeah.
Basically surrounded by over 200 fans on the baseball field. So
they're just like Thermopylae.
Yeah. So Cleveland decided, like, this is actually getting dangerous out of hand. So they unloaded their dugout and went to fight with the Rangers against their own fans.
Jeez.
So now you have the Rangers and the Indians on the field with their bats and fists, and they're fighting fans like no shit, fist fighting and fighting with weapons on the field with all these fans.
Just a
pure pandemonium.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. And so
everybody goes bananas.
And so then the umpire decided that they could not get the game under control, and they called the game and called it a forfeit on Cleveland, and Texas was given the game at a 5-5 tie. They gave them the win by forfeit because the Cleveland's fans couldn't hold their shit together.
Jesus.
So then the fight went on for 20 minutes.
That's a long fight.
That's a long. So the funny thing is, though, the radio announcer for Cleveland, they broadcasted the entire riot the whole time during the game, and they did play-by-play of the riot.
As well they should.
They should have, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and finally the police responded and was able to break up and clear out some of the. So, the players actually were able to kind of protect each other and get off the field, and they just split up and went to each other's locker rooms and like barricaded the doors so fans couldn't get in. You had Texas players in the Cleveland's locker room. You have Cleveland players in the Texas locker room. They were just like split up and scattered and locked themselves in.
I get it. You know, go to the nearest bomb shelter and wait.
So then the Cleveland players actually escorted the Rangers to their bus with bats so that they could leave the stadium.
That's it.
When the teams made it back to the locker room and they were seeking shelter, the fans ended up fighting each other for a while out there on the field too, and fighting the cops. They ended up ripping up the bases, and all the bases got stolen. A lot of the armrests and the chairs. They said even today you still find one of those armrests on eBay every once in a while. Somebody putting one up for sale from the great Cleveland Riot. But the bases have never turned up. Like whoever stole them, they have them in their collection.
They're in somebody's like home bar.
Yeah. That's great. You know where that base come from? That's third base from the play.
Exactly.
Yeah. So after all that, there were some injuries. A few people had to go to the hospital for minor like cuts and bruises and abrasions. 9 fans got arrested for assault or for other public intox causing a ruckus. But no, there was no serious injuries or anything from anybody.
Which is shocking considering Major League Baseball players were holding bats in forms of self-defense.
Yeah.
Like you take the weakest hitting Major League Baseball player right now, guy who not a home run guy, like a Birdie or I don't know, anybody who doesn't hit many homers. If they hit you with a bat, you're fucking going down, dude.
So Cleveland somewhat learned their lesson from that. They had another 10-cent beer night 2 weeks later. But
ballsy.
But they actually limited it to 2 beers per person at a time then versus 6.
That's how most of the dollar beer nights are.
Yeah.
They're 2 per.
So it's probably all stems from the Cleveland Riot of 1974.
I wonder if I bet if you went to a game and asked the beer vendor if they knew why they're only allowed to sell 2 at a time, they wouldn't know. I bet they wouldn't.
So the Cleveland fans got lucky because at the time the Rangers had not yet traded for Nolan Ryan, and you saw what happened to Robbie Ventura. With charging the mound.
He got beat the fuck up.
So Nolan might have taken all those Cleveland fans by himself.
So there's always been this debate on deployments that I've been on, like who's the strongest person in the world. Well, then you have to take into account there's different kinds of strength.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's old man strength.
Yeah.
There's country boy strength. There's athlete strength. Like there's martial artist strength.
Yeah.
We always came down to it's either Chuck Norris or Nolan Ryan.
Yeah, because with Nolan Ryan, you've got the country boy and the old man strength. So that's,
and the professional athlete strength.
it's all combined. I mean, that's
you don't fuck with that guy.
No.
He'd kick your ass.
yeah. Robin Ventura's only got to get 9 hits on Nolan Ryan in 1 inning.
No, Robin Ventura was half his age when he charged the mound, and he regretted it immediately.
So, have you seen that?
I was watching the game when that happened.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, my dad and I were watching the game.
They have that new documentary out. I haven't seen it yet. Nolan Ryan, and they interviewed a lot of past players and teammates for that documentary. And Robin Ventura declined to do the interview for the documentary. So they tried to get him to. He might be a little butthurt still.
Well, I've heard him talk about it.
Yeah.
On interviews, and he says, they got whipped my ass.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of chalk it up to young and dumb.
Yeah. The other beer we're drinking tonight is called Rar and Sons Brewing Company Hazy Hefe. It's a Hefeweizen, obviously a wheat beer, and it is quality brewed, community strong, Texas proud, as they say. I don't know if you guys are aware, but Texas is the greatest country in America.
Brewed in Fort Worth, Texas.
I've been to Fort Worth.
Probably not too far.
It's all right. It's a little, like we said, man. I'm not a huge Hefe fan. I personally enjoy the native Texan a little better, but that's just my taste. You guys enjoy yourselves with your Hefeweizens?
I'm 0 for 3. There we go. There's another one.
Yeah.
I forgot to review when I had it earlier, so I'll have.
It's all right. It's definitely. I'm never gonna say that a beer's bad unless it's like good ass beer bad, but it's okay. This is much more my my speed.
It's sweeter than the Texas Pilsner right here.
Yeah, this is like a happy. This is like a happy medium. This native Texan. You got to shoot these guys an email and just tell them, hey, your beer's all right.
Yeah.
What is your favorite beer?
Probably my favorite, just go-to everyday beer is probably Coors Light.
Okay, yeah. I mean, like your favorite beer overall. If Coors Light is my favorite cheap beer.
Yeah.
Not ultra cheap. Ultra cheap is definitely Natty Light.
Natty Light's gonna be for
which is great, man. I'm telling you, like I got out of the cycle on Natty Light, and now I'm back at it.
Oh yeah,
this shit's great.
I've bought it several times since we did the Natty Light episode.
So have I.
I bought it.
But Coors Light is my favorite of the mass-produced beers. What's your favorite beer overall that you've ever had?
Favorite beer that I've had overall? It's actually a local brewery here in Arkansas, the Lost 40 Brewing Company.
Yeah.
And if you like stouts, they have an oatmeal cream stout that's really good.
Really?
I like it. But it's one of those, it's got to be cold weather. I don't want to drink a stout in a hot
No.
It's a
like
wintertime beer for sure.
Drinking milk on a hot day.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking Anchorman.
Yeah.
Milk was a bad choice.
And it's a really good, it's a creamy nitro beer with, it has a little bit of a coffee flavor. It's really good. I like it.
Yeah, man, I gotta say, like, I was never a big stout fan until I got a little older.
Yeah.
And I won't say that I'm like a fanboy of stouts or whatever, but like they're okay.
I like one every once in a while. It's not something I drink all the time. But I think one of my favorites, and some people still consider it a cheap beer, is Yingling. Is one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, man, Yingling. I have to, I had never even heard of Yingling until I got stationed out in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And man, for years that was our go-to. So of the major beer companies. And I know that they're still not, they're still semi-regional, I guess you'd call it. They're not available in a lot of the western states.
Yeah.
But that's a really, really good choice, man. I love just a regular old Yingling.
Yeah, just the Yingling original.
Yeah, like the black and tan's all right. I like Flight. It's nice.
If not the Yingling original, I like the blonde. The Yingling blonde is really good.
The blonde is good, yeah.
Or they call it the Golden Pilsner, is that what they call it?
Yeah. I know I let you try one, Moose Drool.
Yeah.
Moose Drool is far and away my favorite beer.
It's kind of an amber beer like Yingling is too,
Yeah.
so it's good.
Yeah.
That Rogue Dead Man Ale we had
That was good.
was
Yeah,
really
that
good.
was good. I
liked it.
really liked that. Yeah. That was a fun episode.
It was.
Just because we had props.
Oh yeah. Well, so we're gonna have to. Is what we need to try to do. I want to do a Halloween episode, or maybe a couple.
We'll
Halloween.
do it back at Dante's house. We'll do one.
Well, I was thinking we're gonna have to find like there's a haunted hotel in North Arkansas that we might have to try to go to or something maybe, and
Are you talking about the Crescent?
it might up in Eureka Springs up there. Did you stay up there?
No, we were gonna do our wedding reception there.
Oh, okay.
It was like $15,000 goddamn dollars.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, for everything we wanted, it was a lot.
Dang.
So we did the Best Western.
Yeah.
And it was way the fuck cheaper.
Yeah.
And we still got everything we wanted. Not to shit on the Crescent. It's an amazing place. I couldn't justify the price.
Yeah.
What would be cool is to set up in front of like one of the haunted houses here and like have people come in with their costume.
Oh yeah, just do like a word on the street interviews or whatever.
I'd be cool with that.
Yeah. Ask them some civics questions and see what they know. Pull some Steven Crowder stuff.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Hey guys, we're gonna wrap it up. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Sorry again if you get some background noise. We got cicadas in the trees. We got the fan overhead.
It's typical summertime in the South.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. You enjoy the shit out of it
That's
while
right.
it's here, and
When it gets cold, we'll be wishing it was hot again.
yeah.
So, I mean,
Watch this in December.
yeah. Be in the
No.
shed.
I did want to say, again, as I always do, please be safe. Please be careful. If you go to a ball game and you get a little liquored up, take a Lyft or an Uber. Just when you're drinking with your friends, have a plan.
If you go to the ball game, leave your fireworks at home. You don't need a.
Yeah, fireworks and liquor do not mix unless you're at a bachelor party.
And no matter how much you
Then they
convince
mix.
yourself, streaking is not a good idea. It's
Dude.
good. It's good for everybody else, but not for
Yeah,
you.
but don't do it for you. Have you ever gone streaking?
No, I have not. I don't see myself ever doing it. Nobody wants to see this.
I have.
But yeah.
Guys, thank you so very much. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, leave a comment. As we have said previously, we're more than open to ideas. We're doing this for you, and for us selfishly. Yeah, it's just a fun thing. But we just want to be entertaining and expose you to things you haven't seen. Hit us up.
Hit us up with a comment with whatever you guys want to see with suggestions. We're always open to that. We appreciate it. The channel's growing every day, and we do it for you guys, so we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Have
You
a good night.
say?